You are the last one out of the office, again. It is Friday evening, and you stayed late because somebody had to. It turned out to be you, same as last Friday. Then you miss your bus by 2 minutes. The next one is in half an hour, the shop shuts at 8, and there is nothing at home to eat. You have worked hard all year, and here you are at a bus stop with no dinner. Nothing about this is a disaster, so why does it feel like something has been taken from you? The usual answer is that it was a bad week and you are tired, or that you are doing it wrong. Wrong job, wrong boundaries, not enough consistency. Fix the system and the results will follow. That is the usual story. I do not think it holds. Listen to the sentence again, not the words, the tone. I try so hard and nothing gets better. That is not the sound of somebody confused about a method. That is the sound of somebody who has been cheated. Disappointment and betrayal are not the same feeling. Disappointment is when a thing you wanted does not happen. Betrayal is when a thing you were promised never arrives. And you are describing the second one. So somewhere along the way, somebody promised you. You signed something a long time ago. You were about 6. Nobody read it out to you, and you did not write it either. The terms were simple, and for a while they were true. Effort goes in, reward comes out. You studied and the grade appeared. You practiced, and the coach picked you. You tidied your room and somebody noticed and said so. Every one of those was a real deal. There was a person on the other side of it, a teacher who agreed to mark the work, a parent who agreed to notice, a coach with a list of names. It worked because 2 people signed. Then you grew up. The other side walked away. Nobody told you. Contracts normally end with something. A date, a conversation, a signature crossed out. This one just quietly stopped having a second party, somewhere around your last school report, and it was never mentioned again. The deal stayed. You still put the effort in, at the same rate, often more. But there is nobody at the desk now. Nobody is reading the week you just had. Nobody is counting the mornings you got up when you did not want to. The work goes into a room with no one in it. And adult life is built to keep it that way. You get good at your job and nothing announces it. You are patient with somebody for 2 years and it never comes up. You eat well for a year and your body says nothing. It just carries on, being a body. No marker anywhere. No moment where the work gets read back to you. And the contract is still there in your head, complete, formal, serious, with one signature at the bottom. Yours. Psychologists have a name for the belief holding it up. They call it the just world belief. It is the quiet assumption that outcomes are earned, that careful people come out fine and careless people do not. A researcher called Melvin Lerner tested this in the 1960s and found something strange. When people watched somebody suffer for no reason, and there was nothing they could do to help, they did not decide the world was unfair. They decided the person must have deserved it. That is how much weight the belief carries. People will rewrite a stranger rather than let it go. Why we need it quite that badly, nobody has a good answer for. It just seems to come as standard equipment. Now turn that same machinery inward. You worked hard, nothing came back. If the world keeps score, and your account is empty, there is only one explanation available. You have not earned it yet. So you try harder. The contract does not break. It tightens. Here is where it gets complicated, and not in the direction you would expect. If this were only about results, you would have stopped by now. People abandon things that do not work. They do it all the time, without ceremony. You did not stop. You went harder. Some of that is just life. You cannot walk out of a job because it has stopped rewarding you. But necessity explains staying, not going harder, and not the particular sting of a bus stop on a Friday. So the effort is paying you something. Just not the thing you asked for. Every hard week is evidence. Proof filed daily that you are a person who tries. Take away the results and you can still hold up the file. There is a phrase people say about this, usually kindly. At least you tried. It sounds like comfort. It is the contract talking, and it is wrong in a way that costs you. It treats effort as money, but money has to buy something, and this only buys the feeling of having paid. And now the uncomfortable part. If effort is evidence, it has to be visible, to you at least. Think about the last time somebody asked how your week had been. You did not tell them what changed. You told them how tired you were, which means the part you are keeping is the strain, not the outcome. So without ever deciding to, you start picking the hard version. You rebuild the whole system instead of making the one phone call you have been avoiding. The rebuild takes 9 hours and feels like work. The call takes 4 minutes and feels like nothing. That is the whole problem in one afternoon. Visible effort and effective effort are not the same thing, and only one of them goes in the file. So you skip the 4 minutes. Again. The contract is not only failing to pay you, it is choosing your moves, and there is a lock on the door. The longer you have been paying, the more expensive it gets to admit that nobody is collecting. 10 years of late nights is a great deal to write off, which means the people most trapped by this are the ones who have honoured it the longest. The reliable ones, the ones everybody describes as hard-working and means it as a compliment. Friday evening. The bus stop. Look at what you are actually doing while you stand there. You are not thinking about the shop, or dinner, or the weekend. You are running the tally, the late nights, the Fridays nobody else stayed for, the thing you fixed in April that never got mentioned. You do this most weeks. You have never once decided to. And notice the shape of the tally. It is not a list of what you achieved. It is a list of what it cost you. Nobody keeps track of what something cost them unless they believed somebody owes them for it. This is not self-pity. It is filing. You are putting the week on the record, carefully, in order the way a person does when they expect to be asked. Nobody is going to ask. That is the strange thing about Friday evening. It is not the bus, or the shop, or the hour you lost. It is that you are standing in the cold building a case, in detail, for a hearing that was never scheduled. Nobody is reading it. Nobody has been reading it since you were about 11. You know that. You file it anyway. Here is what I keep coming back to, and it is not about you. Somebody taught you this, not with a lesson, with the way they lived. The hours they kept, the things they did not complain about, the way they never once asked whether it was working. They believed the deal was real. They were probably the most reliable person you knew. Did it pay them? You have never asked, and there is a decent chance they are still going, still filing, still building the case, 40 years in, too far along to look up now. The question is not whether the contract is fair. It is who handed it to you, and whether they ever found out.